You love that story.
Before my 16th birthday, my daddy asked me what I wanted for Christmas, for my birthday. And I told him I wanted a watch and a man. The watch was all right. The man didn't sit well with Daddy at all. So we were living over at Climax at that time. So we moved over to Grace Chapel. Way out in the woods, of course.
Yeah.
You know where the bridge is down there. You know where that little store was. So Daddy goes down there. He likes to talk to people. So he told me and Mary to stay at the house. We followed a little path down through the woods and across a little plank and out onto the bridge. And all of a sudden, boys started coming out of that place and jumping on bicycles, a whole bunch of them. And Daddy came out to see what was going on, and he sent us back home in a hurry. So we got back home, and a little bit on the way home, I told Mary, I like that one they call Dee. She said, well, I like the one they call Shorty. Okay. So after a while, the dog started barking. I went to see what they was barking at, and it was DeWitt and Shorty. They'd come up through the woods, short way home, a long way around, really long way around. So they knew Daddy was down at the store, so that's how I met him. And of course, Mary liked him too. I didn't like that a little bit. But
I guess who won that battle?
I did. But then when he came to pick me up for our first date, Daddy says, not nice for a girl to go off with a boy by herself. You youngest go on with her. They all jumped in the car. He didn't give no money nor nothing. Dee was going to take me to a movie down at Liberty, I believe it was that time. And they all sailed in the car. It was Mary and Bernard and Taylor and two nieces. So there was at least 5, 6 besides me. And that's the way it was. Every time he came to pick me up, some of them would jump in the car.
I can see that.
But Daddy would go to the sale in Asheboro about once a week. He'd catch a bus. He couldn't get back until the bus came that evening. So DeWitt found that out, and he'd come visit while Daddy was gone. That's how we decided to get married. We eloped. I went over to my sister's house at Julian, and he came over there and got me, and we went trying to find somebody to marry us. Had time trying to find somebody to marry us. Went all the way to Virginia and found out you had to be 21 there.
That didn't work, did it?
It didn't work at all. Then we came back to Greensboro and found out you didn't have to be but 18. So I need to change those numbers up there, but I can't remember what I did with the numbers.
Oh, these numbers?
Yeah. We've been married 75 years now.
Uh-huh.
But we got our marriage license. And back then you had to have a blood test. You had to wait 3 hours before we could get the license.
I was trying to.
So we went to the movies. That thing in there that Janie fixed was the movie we went to see while we was waiting for the blood test.
Do you remember the name of the church y'all got married at?
We didn't go to a church. We went to the parsonage.
What's a parsonage?
We went to several
Where the pastor
places,
stays.
and some of them wasn't qualified to marry us.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened we found a Methodist preacher, and I didn't even know he's a Methodist till later when I looked at the marriage license. And he had just moved in, so he had to mail it to me. So when we got back home, I didn't have anything to show he's even married, really.
Well, that might have been good, 'cause it might not been good if somebody had seen it.
Well, his mama was there. His daddy was in prison for making liquor. And so instead of going to my house, my daddy was fighting mad. And so one of my brothers met me. He said, "Don't go home. Daddy's really mad." So I just stayed at Dewitt's house. And so we've been there. It was during the war, you could get a job anywhere. So me and him come over here and got a job, both of us. And
What's that?
Why are you doing that?
Why are you taping her foot? Are you trying to tape her feet?
Anyway,
No.
Grandma.
so I woke up one night and I heard a lot of cussing carrying on. What in the world is that? They said, "Don't worry about it. That was just Dad. They'd turned him loose and he'd come home and found out Dewitt was married. He's going to have it annulled. He's going to sue my brother-in-law. He was just a witness at the wedding. He didn't sign for him, but he thought he'd signed for him. He's going to sue him off." And Dewitt said, "Don't pay any attention to him. He's just drunk." So when I got pregnant, I was so sick, I couldn't even go to work. And we were working second shift then. So he went on to work and left me there. And he dropped me off at the neighbor's house. And she might know what to tell me. He was sick. She had been that way the year before. And she told me to drink buttermilk.
You hear that?
What?
Did it help?
Well, it helped. But it didn't stop it by a long ways. It went on for months. The whole time I was
Her
pregnant.
morning sickness or her sickness while she was pregnant.
I'll have to mention it to Moda.
She ain't gonna drink that buttermilk.
So,
I don't know. She's all about natural remedies. Moda's got something that she wears on her.
Shh.
watch your foot.
Let Grandma finish her story.
So when I got back up to the top of the hill, I met Rolla, Dewitt's mother. I always called her Rolla in town. I didn't call her Miss Kidd. The reason I didn't call her Miss Kidd, his grandma stayed there part of the time, and she was Miss Kidd. So I met Rolla. "Did you fix Dewitt anything to eat before he went to work?" I said, "No." "Well, I can't be here to take care of him." I said, "Didn't nobody ask you to?" So I went in our bedroom. My marriage license was gone. So I went and asked Talmadge for my marriage license. He wouldn't give it to me. So when Dewitt came home that night, I told him, I said, they took my marriage license and wouldn't give it back to me. So he went in there and said, "Dad, give me my marriage license." "Well, I just took it. I was afraid one of these kids would get a hold of it and tear it up." Wasn't no such a thing, or he'd give it back to me. So I told him then, I said, "Get me out of here. I don't care if I have to sleep on the floor or where I have to sleep. Just get me out of here. I'm not staying here any longer." So he found this house. We had no furniture or anything, but that was all right too.
Once you get your own spot, it don't matter if you got furniture.
He went to a furniture store and he got a table and chairs and a cook stove and got a bed. there wasn't anything to go in the living room or anything, but that was all right too. So we moved out with just table and chairs and a cook stove, so we could cook.
You could have done without the table and chairs. That cook stove would have been nice though.
Yeah.
So we went from there, and he wonders where we got all this stuff. And I said, well, we've been here a long time, and we've had a lot of time to pick and choose and get the stuff and not get rid of a lot of it and just put more with it.
Yeah.
Now this bedroom suit, you got part of the first one I had.
The vanity.
Vanity.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw an advertisement in the paper where somebody had 2 bedroom suits for sale. And we went there, and I liked this one the best, so this is the one we got. I had no choice between the 2 of them, but I liked this one, so that's why I've got this modern.
Real restless. And
Yeah, well,
I
I can't.
asked if he hurt, and he said,
Well,
Well, he
that's
said-
what
He said
that's
it
what the
was.
nurse says, that when he gets restless or makes noises, he's usually hurt.
Yeah,